dropped April content calendar, and there's some things people are really excited about and not so much. And the first thing is that Groudon and Kyogre are returning to raids. Now these are incredible Pokemon and it's a great way to get Candy and Candy XL, but we did just see these in the Road to Kalos tour as Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre, and we also had them at the end of the day during the Kalos Tour Global when all of those returned to the raids, and you got your second chance at Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre. And we know this summer we're gonna see Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre featured at Go Fest, along with Shadow Groudon and Shadow Kyogre at Go Fest. Seeing some mixed feedback that some people are saying, hey, we just got these, we're getting them again, why put Groudon and Kyogre in raids? And then you have the others that think, hey, it's another chance to get more candy.
So there's definitely a lot of mixed feedback. I would say more negative feedback as to like, we just had these, why are these in? And a lot of feedback saying like, these are coming this summer. Does this not seem like too much? But then there are some people who are really excited to get candy for this because Primal Groudon is such a good Pokemon. You need so much candy to level 50 it. Then you bring the Shadow into the mix, which is almost as good as Primal Groudon, and you need even more candy. So this is a really good chance for people who might not want to put too much money in the game to be able to slowly accumulate XL candy so that by the summer, they have a powered up Groudon and Kyogre, either like a Primal or a Shadow or possibly both.
Now the wild card here is seeing all of this Groudon and Kyogre, but where's Rayquaza? We don't see Rayquaza, regular Rayquaza in any of the raids. We don't see Mega Rayquaza, nothing like that being featured. But we do have the takeover event at the end of April. Is that where we're finally gonna get Shadow Rayquaza to appear with Giovanni?
I feel like that has to make sense. Like I feel like we're seeing Groudon and Kyogre again without Rayquaza. And even if it's going to be the Shadow version of Rayquaza, I feel like it has to be time. We could even see for Go Fest, Mega Rayquaza and Shadow Rayquaza in that pool with the Kyogre and Groudon as well.
Because this is year 10 and this should be really big. So I think it's going to be really disappointing if we see like Shadow Landorus, which would be next in line with Giovanni, because we had the Shadow Tornadus and Shadow Thundurus. Next you get Landorus, but they did skip Rayquaza right after Giovanni had both Groudon and Kyogre.
And we have had the update where all Shadow Pokemon are Shiny eligible, even Pokemon with Giovanni. So I just feel like putting Rayquaza in for that first official season of like where everyone knows that Giovanni's gonna have a Shiny Shadow eligible Pokemon, I feel like Rayquaza just makes sense. I don't know, I just feel like that's what's missing this month from something, and we're definitely gonna find about it soon. It might be a bit, because I think the takeover is literally the last week of the month. So it's gonna be a bit before we know the news, but we'll know sooner rather than later.
But that's gonna be the moment of truth. Shadow Landorus or Shadow Rayquaza? I have a feeling it might just be Landorus.
No, no way. That would be so disappointing.
It might be.
I mean, we do have to set ourselves up that that does make the next most logical sense, but they did skip Rayquaza, so it could, Landorus could be skipped, but I mean, we will have to see. Like, also we could see Landorus, you're right.
So then back to the raid Pokemon where we have Groudon and Kyogre. We also see Regidrago, Tapu Koko, and Tapu Lele.
You know, it's funny because online everyone's like, oh, the Tapu season's back, because we're probably gonna see the other Tapus. I like the Tapus though. Don't they typically come out around like Go Fest season though, the Tapus?
Tapus are usually around in the springtime.
Yeah, I always feel like we never raid them for whatever reason, so I never have like the shinies or enough candy for any of these, so it's a good time to get it because like we still need some of these.
But then all month we're gonna have Shadow Latios, and I think that's the one to go for.
Yeah, especially because we have that change now where the Shadow 5-star raids aren't just on the weekend anymore. I think that's been really fun for us to do the Shadow 5-star raids throughout the entire week. That's really mostly what we've been raiding now when it comes to legendary raids is the Shadow. So I do like that we see this like for the whole month rather than just on the weekends now.
So like with the raids, I think this is a good chance for players of all level, like entry level players can do the raids, get candy, get the Pokemon, or like seasoned players can really just skip entirely if they want to, because it might be a smart idea just to save your resources and prepare for Go Fest this summer.
Yeah, especially because they'll have the backgrounds this summer, but this is a really good month for beginner players, or if you're just coming back to the game. Because we do have to remember, I feel like, yes, we just had Groudon and Kyogre in, but it's always after the tour that people get into the game. Since we've been streaming this, I always feel like people get into the event after the tour. So this is kind of a nice makeup for everyone who might have missed Groudon Rayquaza, who didn't play the tour, can get it now, because we are seeing more people interested in Pokemon Go. So we need something better. Like, I feel like if they did just put all Tapus in this month, that would be really disappointing for like returning players. So I feel like for those returning or new players, seeing Groudon and Kyogre is really exciting. And for them to get it later in the summer, I think they'll still be just as excited. And we do have some different Mega Raids than what we've seen in the past. And everyone online, I swear this is like the main comment about this month, is that Mega Alakazam is back. So apparently everyone is super, super excited for this. It has been a while since we've had it, but people are so excited for this. Like what do you think that is? Is it just because it hasn't been in for a while, or is this like a fan fave Mega? Like, I don't know.
For me, it's a little bit of both. It hasn't been in for a while, and Alakazam's always been a personal favorite of mine. I'm a little surprised that we've had March and April without any Super Megas though, because that being the push for the Kalos Tour and saying, hey, Super Megas are coming. Now you would see somewhat of a mega push, but I'm not really getting the link charges the way I thought we would be getting them for those to be a part of the game now.
I don't know if this was introduced in such a poor way that they're having to rework this entire super mega system, because I do feel like it was so flawed from the beginning. But I definitely feel like if Mega Mewtwo is coming, or really when Mega Mewtwo comes, it's going to be a super mega raid. We need to have enough prep time and enough like education on how these super mega raids work, or else we're going to see another complete failure of an event. So I'm hoping next month in May. But next month is Go Fest season at the end of the month. I don't know. I'm really surprised we haven't seen a Super Mega Raid Day yet at all.
But for the general pool of Mega Pokemon, I'm excited about Alakazam, but I'm also really excited about Aerodactyl.
Yes.
That's another one that we don't see too often. And Aerodactyl is actually quite difficult to get candy for, since I never really see it in the wild, and it's hardly in raids like this.
Yeah, I think Aerodactyl is going to be a really good one, and definitely one that you want to get the Mega Energy for. You want to save them and trade for like Friday trades and stuff like that. So Aerodactyl is going to be a good one. I think the other ones are just kind of like whatever. Manectric's okay. Sharpedo, we just had that raid day not that long ago. Mega Banette is a cool shiny, but it's okay. But I think the Aerodactyl and Alakazam are probably like the best Megas that are coming next month, in my opinion.
Well, if you don't have a Mega Alakazam, you want one. That way you can start working on that level 3 Mega. If you want to have a level 3 Mega Alakazam, I'm going to use the Super Max Malamar, just because that gives you just that much more candy and Candy XL. But if someone doesn't have one that shares a type, Alakazam's a great option. But another reason I'm excited about Aerodactyl is I've found that has been one of my favorite Megas, as far as actually having one that I can attack with and sharing a type. For the fact that it's flying and rock, I'll throw that in and I'll raid a lot of birds, because a lot of top Pokemon are somewhat flying type. You'll see like Lugia, Ho-Oh, Rayquaza, birds, just so many flying type.
Yeah, that's true.
So if I can have something that double dips, shares a type that I can get more candy and Candy XL with, I'll do that. So Aerodactyl gets a lot of use for me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think Aerodactyl is a cool one. It's a really cool shiny too if you can get the shiny and get the mega shiny, but I do feel like it's a really useful mega that we use more often than some other like of our rock type ones.
And then for max battles, we're going to see Dynamax Regirock. I'm going to do this one, but I'm not going to like get the extra particles and do any more than just the free ones.
Yeah, and I think like as of right now, I guess like Regice is coming in, but we haven't even like done that yet. So we'll see how even like challenging the Regis are in Dynamax form. I feel like most people just don't even like the Regis. So now putting them in Dynamax, are people going to even like the Regis? I don't know.
For me, it's getting one and being able to farm candy for the future, or if I get a good shiny or a hundo, maybe I'll use that. But as far as max battles, my personal collection is I just want to fill out all the Gigantamax, and the Dynamax is, if I get one, I get one.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like you said, I think this is like a good one to go ahead and get one of and drop it off in the max battles to get the candy. I think it's the most useful when these legendaries come out to max battles. I just use it as an opportunity to farm candy. Like right now, I think I'm focusing on Raikou. Last month, it was like Moltres. So whatever I need candy for, that's like the one I'm focusing on.
But of the other Dynamax, Drillbur seems to be the one to go for. That one's been very useful, at least until we get a ground type or a rock type Gigantamax.
Okay, and speaking of max battles, we do have another max battle day. So we already know we're gonna have Pikachu like at the end of this month, like next week from now, as like we're filming this. So we're gonna have another max battle day. We have a couple different theories of what this could be, either something new or a repeat.
So my first theory is that this could be Garbodor again.
It like fits with the sustainability week theme that's coming the week before.
The second theory is that this could be Gigantamax Melmetal because of the Steel Resolve,
which is happening the week after. So that was my first idea, was like, oh, it's gonna be Melmetal, especially now that we have like Melton's shiny unlocked. And I wonder if this might've been a reason, is that they couldn't figure out how to do Melmetal, G-Max, and unlock Melton at the same time. I don't know. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but Melton is technically, or in theory, unlocked now as a shiny. So could it be Melmetal for the Sealed Resolve? It could also be Garbodor for the Sustainability Week though.
Then the third wild card would just be something we didn't predict at all. It could be just a Dynamax Legendary, or maybe another Gigantamax. I don't know. When it's Max Battle Day, it didn't say Gigantamax Battle Day or Dynamax Battle Day, so I don't know what this could be.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I think it's interesting that we're doing another Max Battle Day though, because I thought we'd have like one per season, and that we would possibly have a Super Mega Raid Day, unless it was supposed to be. And again, maybe this was supposed to be a Super Mega Raid Day. It was so messed up that they have to fix it before like Go Fest comes. Because again, if Mewtwo is messed up, I feel like everyone's gonna quit this game at this point. So Mewtwo has to work flawlessly. So this could also just be like, they just had to fill in the blanks for some reason.
But for the events this month, we're starting out with Fashion Raid Day. I have mixed feelings on this one. We've had Fashion Week in the past where we've had a lot of costume Pokemon in the wild. We've had some in raids, and then I believe field researches too. Were they in field researches?
Maybe the Blitzel was and stuff, possibly. I can't remember.
I can't remember about the field researches.
I think so, because it was always like a Fashion Week. It was like the whole week, and there was like an event around it, some raid Pokemon, some in the wild. It was like always pretty fun in my opinion.
But last year when we had Fashion Week, we did 80 Dragonites apiece, so 160 of these costume Dragonites. I did get the Hundo, and I didn't get the shiny. So having it in a raid day where we assume it's gonna be 1 out of 10 shiny odds,
yeah, we'll have to see.
Could be good shiny odds to get a shiny costume.
But there's so many in raid rotations. How hard is it gonna be to find Dragonite? I feel like we're gonna see like that costume Blitzel. Not that I hate on that costume Blitzel, but it's not one of the cooler costumes. Like when you're talking like Dragonite, Sneasel, Krogunk, those are some like really good costumes, and Sneasel's kind of like blends in with like the zebra pattern. So I'm just like kind of worried with like so many raids in rotation for 3 hours, it's gonna be a little challenging to find like the Dragonites if that's what we're looking for.
So I feel a little burned from doing so many of those Dragonite raids that I'm probably just going to focus on Absol, because that's a cool costume.
It is cool.
That one also having a Mega Evolution. And then the second evolution, the Mega Absol Z, coming to the game sometime. I'd like to get Hundos, hopefully 2 Hundos with the costume, but one would be really cool too. If I don't get one from the raids, then at least Bernie and I can trade for those and maybe re-roll the IVs. But as far as just doing raids for the costume Pokemon, I feel like that's not the funnest, because that's what's always fun about Fashion Week, is going after a lot of costume Pokemon. And when you raid lock it, finding the gems for the raids, these aren't necessarily good enough to remote. So I don't know how fun the event will be. I feel like they should have some wild costumes. So we'll see if maybe their marketing just didn't give us that information, but it's not fun if you don't have wild costumes.
Yeah, because like so far there's no Fashion Week anymore, and I feel like that was just such a fun event. And then last year they missed the opportunity with the Fashion Week taking over to give us official Shadow costume Pokemon. That would have been perfect, but we didn't have that, so that's kind of a bummer. But yeah, just a raid day for the Fashion Week instead of a full week is a little bit of a letdown, but maybe we'll still get a Fashion Week later on in the summer or something. We do have one Calm Day during April. I believe it's already been announced that it's Tinkatink Calm Day. That's exciting because I don't have that shiny. That's gonna be really fun to play here. So I'm just excited about it. It's a good shiny. Like you've been using it in like PvP a little bit here and there, so there's a little bit of play there, but I'm just more excited to like get the shiny family and some extras to trade.
Yeah, this is a cool shiny. I'm excited about that.
All right, so then we have Sustainability Week. We did have an event, I believe a Sustainability Week a couple years ago, and that was a Trubbish push. Now, we might see that again, but I've been reading online, a couple people think maybe Shiny Gossifleur will be debuted. It seems like for a lot of these events, we're getting like a debut and a release, and I believe in the photos for the season, we do see Flittle, so maybe this is where we get the debut. Maybe it's gonna be like flower themed, with that Gossifleur and with like the Flittle. So that could be that. Some people are thinking like the earthworm looking Pokemon. I can't remember what that's called.
Orthworm?
Yeah, earthworm. But some people also think maybe first the Steeled Resolved event, we could see that too. So we're just gonna have to see. It will probably be though a shiny debut and a new Pokemon debut, which has kind of like been the theme recently.
Then we have a hatch day, and we've seen online from some leaks that people think this is going to be Riolu, and that would be sick.
That'd be really good.
That's definitely a hatch day worth playing, to hatch as many eggs, get your Riolu candy, your Riolu XL